Have you heard of this idea of crowning an absolute fakest polyglot and having a ceremony, a bit like at the Oscars? I personally love the idea of crowning an absolute fakest polyglot and having a YouTube vote every year. I just love it. The crowning of a champion, long overdue. It would be an absolute fantastic laugh. And before you discard the idea, think about it. Are you saying that you would not want to know who the users of YouTube think is the fakest polyglot in the world? I'd want to know. I'd really want to know. Of course I would. And I'd want to know what makes them fake. What techniques of deceit did they use to make them the fakest? You could even have separate trophies, like at the Oscars, like nominations for the most absurd number of languages known. And the winner is Tommy Tiddlewink with 25. Hooray! Lifetime awards also. Best fake street interview polyglot, different categories. So what are we waiting for? If we were to do this, we'd pick the top 30 polyglots who built a following on YouTube, and you'd have a scoring grid. For each language a certain polyglot claims to speak, you'd have a jury of two teachers who are also native speakers of that language, and who work together to score the performance. For example, Wendy Whistlebottom claims to speak Dutch, so you'd have two teachers who are native speakers of Dutch, so two teachers of Dutch, and who score her Dutch. But then you'd also have two other teachers still working on Wendy Whistlebottom's claims. You'd have two other teachers who score whatever other language Wendy claims to know. But it wouldn't just be about language. We can actually spot a lot of polyglot cheating with AI. It's very simple, I've done it before. We take each and every video in which they claim to speak a certain language, you just download the script and you do stats. You just ask AI, well, how much is each one repeating the same formula over and over across different interviews? It's quite easy and it takes seconds. And by all means, if you're close to a certain polyglot, ask them the question now. Perhaps they'd be up for it. And if they say, well, I'm not fake, you tell them it doesn't matter, you all qualify. Each polyglot has an equal chance at being the fakest. The last thing I'd say about the scoring is that it has to include the framing also. In which context are the polyglots speaking all these languages? With whom? It's absolutely very relevant. For the languages there's no evidence, no reliable evidence, or barely, they lose points automatically. And for those for which there is video evidence, we have to take the framing into account. How much was the video edited? Does it cut at every sentence? How much is the person interviewing the polyglot in on the game and facilitating the promotion of that certain polyglot? In how many videos are any of these polyglots even seen speaking about unfamiliar topics with a person they've barely ever met? It's all about the level of trust we can have, not just about the language performance, it's about the level of trust we can have as viewers, and if the trust is too low, they just automatically lose points. And they lose points if the video is too short, if the interviewer is evidently there to make the polyglot look good, if it's always the same topics they talk about across multiple videos, if they only ever use the same two tenses over and over again, and so many other factors. Patterns would be a big scoring criteria. And of course there would be you, because the popular vote should count for something. We have to find a way to make the YouTube voters voice their opinion. Is it cruel to the polyglots? Well, I don't think so. Frankly, I don't think so. I think it's a good laugh. I don't think that the polyglots would mind much. It's like voting between who's the best at fighting between Rambo and the Terminator. I mean, it's film world, isn't it? So they're not going to be offended. Rambo's not going to be offended. And besides, I mean, people don't really watch polyglots because they believe it's actually true. So really I feel that there's no harm done. I say let's get the ball rolling, shortlist some names, spread the idea, share the thought, ask the polyglots themselves if they'd be willing to participate, ask them what they think, and tell me in the comments. I'm Chris from We Communicate.